Good morning and good afternoon. Welcome to another episode of Before Coffee. It is Wednesday, which means it's Wacky and Weird News Day. That's right. We looked up all the weird, wacky things that have been going on since last Wednesday and even today, and we're here to share it with you. This is the first and only international game show Before Coffee, a father and daughter news podcast where we look up our stories right before we've started. We just got caffeine in our bodies and we're willing to speak and read live on stream. Let's get into those weird headlines and spin that segue wheel. Today on Wacky and Weird Wednesday, Italian anarchists blow themselves up while making a bomb. And a 600-year-old French Pinot Noir grape shows the variety has been cultivated since at least the 1400s.
Greetings and Weird Wednesday, where an ancient whale trap is discovered beneath the Norwegian seabed. And the world's deadliest infection, tuberculosis, is making a comeback in the United States.
Old seed and lying to the inspectorate. More abuses in a Lauderdorp fertility clinic. And man with the world's strongest nipples uses piercings to pull the weight of 2 grand pianos.
Woof. And in Maryland, a quadruple amputee is accused of murdering someone with a gun. Plus, humans in the Andes appear to have evolved in a strange genetic ability.
In my culture news, gross and transphobic. Why is Moby taking shots at Lola by the Kinks?
And it's National Manatee Appreciation Day, because I never appreciate manatees enough from my own perspective. And it's March 25th, 2026 on Before Coffee. Dude, if you go swimming, a manatee will come. We'll see what the hell you're up to.
It's actually illegal to touch a manatee in a lot of places because they're protected. Like you can't actually hug them back. They hug you, but you can't hug them back. Of course, I don't know how you prove that happened or not, but
I see people swim with manatees all the time. I don't know if they're touching them.
Also, it looks like you have something on your eyebrow, or is that just your? Yeah, there's something on your eyebrow. Yeah.
Something on my eyebrow.
Yeah, like a black thing on your eyebrow. It's definitely on your face. Oh, there. It's gone now. That was weird. Maybe it's just a green screen. Maybe it's green screen your eyebrow away because it's reflecting.
No, there was something there until I put my glasses on. I don't know. There was something. It's probably just a thread or something.
All right, let's roll our first segue.
It was guano from my bats. We were dropping.
Oh no! You gotta get that rabies shot.
I was in the bat cave earlier. No, I'm Batman. I'm man. See.
Oh, sorry. Our first segue is gonna be sarcasm.
There you go. Sarcasm.
This first story is coming from Italy on Eurosativ. 2 Italian anarchists were killed in an explosion at a cabin on the outskirts of Rome, apparently while making a bomb, media reports said on Saturday, which I believe Saturday was the 21st of March. The couple, named as Sarah Ardizone and Alessandro Mercagliano, died on Friday, the 20th of March, while preparing a protest meant to draw attention to the fate of jailed anarchist figurehead Alfredo Cospito, Italian media reports. The couple were known to the police and for their activism in the anarchist movement. Cospito, 58, is serving a 20-year sentence for a series of parcel bombs and attacks targeting the authorities. He is being held in highly restrictive prison conditions applied to terrorists and mafia members, which some rights groups have condemned as excessively harsh. Cospito staged a hunger strike 3 years ago in a protest at the measures, known as the 41 bis, after an article in Italy's prison code. A court is set to rule in May whether to relax his detention conditions, and the press suggested Ardizzone and Mercogliano could have been preparing a bombing to draw public attention to his case. The La Repubblica newspaper reported that they had been preparing an attack, which it said was not aimed at killing people, but as an act of protest, just a big, loud bomb. Ardizzone had told
killed by shrapnel. It's an accident, right? Just a happy accident, right, sir?
Ardizzone had told a court during a 2025 trial that she and Mercogliano were partners in life and in the struggle, according to the Corriere della Sera newspaper. She defended violent protests in her testimony, telling the court, "There is an enormous difference between the violence of the oppressed and that of the oppressors. The former follows an ethical code, the latter none." So they're just saying that she probably wasn't going to blow up anybody. And sad way to go, I guess, for some anarchists. As an anarchist myself. Practice your bomb safety.
Seriously. Anarchy is great, but you can't get a decent sandwich. I'm telling you.
No.
Nobody's in business in anarchy. You can't even go to the store because they're afraid of opening. So I'm not really big on anarchy. I think people need to get along with each other. I think the opposite of anarchy.
I don't think that's what anarchy is about, but okay.
Yeah, anarchy means no law. It means no laws is what it means.
Yeah, it doesn't mean you can't get along with each other. You shouldn't need laws to keep your people getting along together.
Right. Unfortunately for us, we have a bunch of people that just don't think like that. And they're the ones that need laws. Yeah. So laws are for... Anyway, that's ridiculous. My sarcasm, if the story's done. I don't know if your story's done or not.
Yep, story's done.
Okay. Rest in pieces, I guess. My sarcasm.
Okay, we got our next story, which is from France. Right over the border to France. This is from Benedicta Salvetare on the New Zealand Herald. Okay, can I read this whole story? It gave me half the story. A 600-year-old grape seed discovered in the toilets of a medieval French hospital is genetically identical to the grape still being used to make Pinot Noir, scientists said today. Which, what is today? 24th of March. So it was yesterday, actually. The seed reveals that people in France have been cultivating this immensely popular variety of grapes since at least the 1400s, the scientists said in the new study. I think I have this grape growing in my backyard, even. It's not possible to say whether that fruit was eaten like table grapes or whether people made wine from it at the time, study co-author Laurent Moby told AFP. But the research provides a link between the modern France, one of the world's largest wine-producing and consuming countries, and its distant wine-loving past. Another study co-author, Ludovic Orlando, pointed out that the 100 Years' War between England and France finally wrapped up in the mid-1400s, and the brief life of France's patron saint Joan of Arc was also in the 15th century. She could have eaten the same grapes as us, the paleogeneticist of the University of Toulouse told AFP. The seed was found in a toilet in a 15th century hospital in Valenciennes in northern France. At the time, toilets were sometimes used as rubbish bins, the researchers explained. I mean, you're already throwing away your refuse. Why not all the refuse? The study, which was published in the journal Nature Communications, if you want to read the whole thing about the grapes, check that out, involved sequencing the genome of 54 grape seeds dating from the Bronze Age from around 2300 BC to the Middle Ages. That's a long time for cultivating grapes. It confirms that the generation of wine growers had been using what they are called clonal propagation techniques, such as preserving cuttings of particular grape varieties for 600 years, the researcher said. Ancient texts had offered indications this was happening, but outside of paleogenomics, it is very difficult to characterize this technique, said Moby of the Institute of Evolutionary Science of Montpellier. But the new research found evidence that the technique was being used in many areas as far as back as the Iron Age, around 625 to 500 BC. Though the grapes analyzed in the study were from wild vines in the French region of Nimes, dated around 2000 BC, so 4,000 years ago they were using these grapes. Domesticated vines then started to appear between 625 and 500 BC in France's southern Var region. This lines up with the colonizing Greeks believing to have introduced viticulture, cultivating grapes, to France after founding the city of Marseille. Orlando said it was already known that the wine was traded at the time by the Greeks and the Etruscans because of wine jugs called amphora, and that lasted centuries. But the DNA of the grape seeds, particularly those from ancient Rome, revealed long-distance exchanges of domesticated grape varieties from places including Spain, the Balkans, the Caucasus, and the Middle East. It also shows there was plenty of genetic mixing of domesticated grape varieties and local wild vines during the Roman period, particularly in northern France. In the future, it would be very interesting to work closely with historians who have access to texts describing certain wine-growing techniques to find out more, Orlando said. Pinot Noir, which is often associated with France's Burgundy region, is the fourth most widely grown grape in the world, according to the study. So, some new wacky grape. We haven't changed the genetics of the we haven't changed the genetics of that grape for at least 600 years. Crazy. We've kept it the same the whole time. That's harder than you think to do.
Covered in a toilet. That is really amazing.
Yeah, 54 grape seeds. Somebody was, I guess, eating a lot of grapes. Or they just threw it in there.
Well, they don't. No, but seeds don't digest, right? They just pass right through you.
Yeah.
They pass right through your system and end up in a turd. So that's probably where it ended up there. Somebody was eating grapes and swallowing the seeds. I got some French sarcasm. I would like to drink a toast to this new Pinot Grigio as a really heady bouquet. There you go. That's your toilet humor.
The
but all in all, it's a shitty wine. All in all, it's a shitty taste. But anyway, that's a weak pun. But that's my sarcasm, and it's a heady bouquet. It's the best I can do. And then you can drink this while you play poker in case you get a royal flush. I don't know. I don't know what else to add to it. There's not a lot of good stuff. I had to go for puns for some reason.
Our next segue is a hypothetical for your story.
Okay. Do a long story first. This is about disease, so I guess it's more important. The world's deadliest disease, named TB, we call it for short, tuberculosis. A lot of people used to die from it a long time ago, but hey, we learned sanitation. But no, we're taking steps back because brainworm Bobby's in charge now of our health. The world's deadliest infectious diseases is from Vox.com, a really lengthy article. We try to shorten it up. China Corral of Vox.com. Something unusual happened at Archbishop Reardon High School last fall. In September, a student in the Bay Area went to school. Bay Area went to school to see a health provider for a cough that wouldn't go away. But it wasn't until 2 months later that the student got diagnosed with tuberculosis. The San Francisco Department of Public Health launched an investigation which revealed a surprisingly high rate of latent tuberculosis, meaning that people were infected by the Mycobacterium tuberculosis bacteria, but their infections had not yet progressed to active and contagious disease at the school. As of February 24th, the most recent data available, 4 people in the school community had confirmed active tuberculosis, and an additional 3 active cases were suspected by the public health department. There's a bunch of ads in here, so I gotta skip those. A private school in San Francisco wasn't exactly where you would expect tuberculosis outbreak to occur. Of course, private schools don't have vaccination requirement. In a lot of cases, tuberculosis is largely a disease of poverty and marginalization, and today developing world bears the greatest burden. The vast majority of all new cases, about 87%, occur in just 30 low and middle income countries, but it used to be far more prevalent globally. Rewind the clock. On March 24th, 1882, roughly 146 years ago, exactly 146 years ago, a German physician named Robert Koch, we talked about him yesterday, announced that he had identified the cause of you're right, my short-term memory just came back. Killed 1 out of 7 people in the U.S. and Europe. Now, fast forward, today is World Tuberculosis Day, marking the 144th, well, yesterday was World Tuberculosis Day, marking the 144th anniversary of Koch's discovery. Did I say 146? Man, I'm terrible at math. 144. Call it consumption, the robber of youth, the white plague, but we certainly can't call it gone, although it is briefly outpaced by COVID in 2023. Tuberculosis regained the title as the world's leading cause of death by infectious disease. Every year, it infects about 10 million people and kills 1.5 million, despite being both preventable and curable. Counting both latent and active cases, fourth in the entire human population, made 1/4, 25% of the entire human population may be infected with the bacteria worldwide. Latent and active, right? You don't even know you have it until you're like, this cough won't go away. The global, local, and local. The global is local and the local is global. Sounds like the start of a song, doesn't it? So if we're not able to address the global burden of tuberculosis, we'll continue to see it everywhere. Priya Sheet, a associate professor of medicine at tuberculosis research at the University of San Francisco, California. The United States is an infrastructure for tuberculosis testing and treatment isn't currently an epidemic. Like much of the world, it used to be, though. It may have killed as many as a quarter of all Americans during parts of the 18th and 19th centuries, but improvements in nutrition, living conditions, sanitation, especially the advent of antibiotics in the mid-1900s, changed things dramatically. We don't have a vaccination for it, but we can treat it. It's not death sentence. After 30 years of being in a decline, tuberculosis rates are rising in the U.S. In February alone, it popped up in American high schools beyond the Bay Area, which confirmed cases in Long Island, New York, and Seattle. One of the largest American outbreaks since the Centers of Disease Control and Prevention started reporting tuberculosis data in the 1950s, happened just 2 years ago in Kansas, leading to 68 active cases and 91 infections and 2 deaths. Brought this investment in public health infrastructure, medication, supply shortage, delays in diagnosis due to COVID pandemic, and challenges detecting and treating latent cases are all a part of why tuberculosis is still a disease worth worrying about in the United States. And we're going to cut it off there. Again, everybody wash your damn hands, right? No matter what the hell you just handled. If you shake hands, go wash your hands. If you hug somebody, I don't know, outside. Stay outside. Go outside a lot, right? Right? A lot of bacteria killed by ultraviolet rays. But there's your story. A lot of viruses do. All viruses kill by ultraviolet.
My hypothetical is wash your hands. Wash your hands. You don't have to worry about anything. Before you eat, before you touch your face, before you do anything, wash your hands. I don't think the only
washing your hands.
Yeah, the only bad thing about washing your hands is it makes your hands dry. Would you rather have dry hands? Would you rather be dead or have dry hands? I'd rather have dry hands myself than be dead.
Just get some nice aloe soap. That doesn't
exactly. So
one more story.
Okay.
As we're going to talk about my second story. My second story is a whale trap. This is something that they discovered under. We're going all the way back over to the net to Norway. I almost said the Netherlands. HeritageDaily.com. Mark Milligan, an ancient whale trap. Yeah. Hunting whales is a real pain in the ass, but if you can lure them in, it's even better, right? And then you can feed your village for a year. Marine archaeologists uncovered a striking piece of Norway's past in the seabed off Garden near Bergen, a large, carefully constructed stone formation believed to be around 1,000 years old and likely used as a whale trap. The find offers rare, tangible evidence of organized whaling practices that until now, have largely been known only through historical accounts. The structure consists of a long band of stones stretching more than 25 meters across the seabed. It was recorded during a series of dives in January where unusually clear winter waters gave researchers exceptional visibility across the strait. While initially appeared to be a natural feature, soon revealed itself as something more deliberate. According to Elling Udvik Wammer of the Norwegian Maritime Museum, or the NMM, this is the first confirmed physical example of this type of whale hunting installation. While written sources have long described such methods, direct archaeological proof has been missing. Researchers believe the stone formation once formed the base of a larger trapping system made from wooden barriers and ropes. This would have guided whales, most likely minke whales, M-I-N-K-E, into a combined area where they could be more easily hunted. Historical descriptions suggest that the animals were targeted with crossbows and specialized arrows, possibly treated to weaken them over time, before being dragged ashore once exhausted. Imagine dragging a whale. How big are these whales? 25 meters across. It's going to be a huge whale. The scale and effort behind the construction point to a highly organized operation, highlighting the importance of whaling in medieval coastal communities. Whale products, including meat and bone, were vital resources and were typically distributed according to strict social rules with local settlements. Alongside the main structure, the team also discovered a circular stone mound measuring approximately 15 meters in diameter. This feature is thought to be much later, possibly linked to an unsuccessful attempt in the 18th century to alter or block the strait. To document the site, researchers used photogrammetry, capturing hundreds of images with GoPro cameras, created 3D models. These are now being analyzed better to understand how the trap function. Further investigations are planned for June with a full scientific report expected next year. So whale catching, ancient stones, ancient whale, there's your story. How the ancient mariners, not the rhyme of the ancient mariners, but how they catch the whales, how they caught whales.
Yeah, I mean, probably, and usually probably only they catch one or two a year. You can feed a whole village with a whale. It's only when we started capitalizing on it that all the whales started dying, because instead of eating one or two whales a year, it's like, oh, how many whales can we ship all over the world and to whom? And let's make... And they were using whale oil as fuel. So... Yeah,
whale oil, for candles and everything.
And that's the hardest part about being Inuit, is that, people, oh, you're terrible for killing whales. Like, we're not the ones who caused that shit. You guys caused that. You guys are the ones who started killing whales. We were just...
Every part of
exactly.
They didn't kill a whale indiscriminately. They shared. They used every part of it. They still do today, by the way. They're still allowed to kill whales.
Yeah, of course. But I think it's still technically limited.
They're not being...
Yeah.
Right. But again, you're going to limit it just by necessity anyway. Let's kill a bunch of whales and just let them rot. That just brings a bunch of predators, and scavengers to your area. Right. That's all it does.
But I guess my hypothetical is, if only we didn't capitalize on whale and whale oil, there'd be people...
We wouldn't even be here, actually. I don't think people are going to survive, to tell you the truth, though, whale. I'm not sure they would, right? Especially in northern climes, right?
Yeah.
So...
No, for sure.
Let's not try to trash ancient civilizations.
I'm not trashing anybody.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, if we didn't capitalize on it, if there were other people who didn't capitalize on it, there'd be more whales in the world.
Woohoo! Oh, I didn't clap for your thing. Sorry about that. I'm slow. I'm always slow on the old soundboard.
It's okay. Let's roll our next segue wheel.
All right. And I got to get me a video. I'll do it in the next section.
Okay.
All right.
Non sequitur.
What do I get?
Non-secretizing. Oh, look at that beautiful sun peeking in. I love this. I love when the sun is gone when I start the show, and then it comes, and then it goes directly into my lens, and now I have this angel aura around me. Our next story is coming out of the Netherlands, in which in Leiderdorp, a fertility clinic was just breaking a bunch of rules and regulations and safety and all sorts of things. This is from Judith Penarts on the NOS. Far more mistakes were made by the private clinic Medisch Centrum Kinderwens, MCK, in Leiderdorp than was previously known. According to an investigation by Nieuwsuur, also stands for News Hour, the clinic used sperm from men who were too old, so like I guess 60, fathered children with women abroad against the express wishes of donors, and concealed matters from the inspectorate. The only reason this matters, by the way, is that as sperm gets older, it's just less quality. Sometimes it's missing things, and then you can get that missing stuff into your zygote, and then you make a baby who's, I don't know. It's just not a healthiest baby you could have. MCK Leiderdorp is a commercial fertility clinic, which means they make money. The clinic has been popular over the past 15 years, particularly among a growing group of single women and lesbian couples at home and abroad. The clinic is under fire after Nieuwsuur revealed last year that MCK deliberately created mass donors for years by fathering far more children than the professional body had agreed upon. As in, you had somebody with 50 children, right? You donate, that's technically not, I guess it's not recommended to do that. You want to have a limited pool of people spreading their seed, so to say. Or you don't want a limited pool. The inspectorate had been investigating the clinic since the summer of 25. MCK does not wish to comment on the findings. Well, what do they have to say? In 1992, a medical guideline stipulated that a donor may father a maximum of 25 children. That was in 92, before I was even born. In 2018, this was adjusted to the maximum of 12 families per donor, so it was reduced. A sperm donor with more than 25 children is considered a mass donor. The same guideline specifies an age limit for the sperm donor between 18 and 45 years, not older than 45, because the age difference with the children to be conceived then becomes too large, but also because the sperm from older men poses a higher risk of disorders and diseases in offspring. I'm missing my 21st chromosome, and now I'm born like this, and you're already paying so much money for this sperm. You need to get high quality sperm. That's all they're asking for here. The MCK website states that men between the ages of 18 and 45 can donate sperm in accordance with the guidelines, but the reality was different. Internal documents seen by Nieuwsuur revealed that for the years the clinic also allowed men up to age of 50 to donate, and sometimes even older. Donor William, not his real name, confirms this. I was 47 when I started and donated 15 times until I was 52. William didn't know that there was even a limit of 45. That's up to the clinics, right? The clinic has to enforce that rule, and they were enforcing it. A mother tells Nieuwsuur that her MCK donor was 48 old at the time of the donation, something she did not know. My child suffers significantly from autism. Okay. I'm not sure if we can blame the autism on the sperm, but okay, sure. I know by now the older donor, the greater risk these types of disorders. She recently heard that the donor has since passed away. Sorry, you can't meet your dad. He was too old when he donated his sperm, and now he's dead. Another mother who received sperm from the same deceased donor feels cheated. If the donor had told me back then that the donor was more than twice my age, I absolutely would not have agreed. It was my early 20s and still plenty of time to wait for a younger donor. The Dutch Association of Gynecologists, NVOG, does not wish to comment on the questions regarding the clinic, but considers it undesirable if donor sperm is used that does not meet the agreed age limits, because these limits have been established with due care and interest of the future child in mind. In 2015, the Health and Youth Care Inspectorate launched an investigation into all fertility clinics in the Netherlands. MCK was also visited. The clinic stated at the time the maximum number of children is kept below 25, according to the inspection report of that visit. However, fewer than 25 children per donor was not the practice in 2015. The MCK management wrote in an email to Newsur last year that until mid-2017, the policy was not of 25 children, but of 25 families. That can lead to as many as 30 to 40 to 50 or more children per donor, because it's only 25 families. You can have one donor make 5 children for your family, and that's considered just one family, right? That's the argument here. MCK kept this practice secret from the inspector in 2015, according to former inspector Jan Martin van den Berg, that its very serious lies were told at the time. The NVOG states in general response, "We consider the failure to fully or accurately inform supervisors about actual policy or working methods to be as serious and unacceptable. Transparency towards the inspectorate is a basic prerequisite for good care." But it did not end at the high, deviating standard of 25 families per donor. On top of that, children were also conceived with foreign fertility tourists, as revealed by donor contracts. Such contracts state, for example, 25 families in the Netherlands plus 15 children with clients not in the Netherlands. Some donors explicitly did not want children with women abroad. The option for clients not residing in the Netherlands was crossed out in the contract. However, the clinic did not always adhere to that agreement. As a result, William has 3 donor children abroad against his wishes, which means he can never see them, I think is the argument here. Depending if he wants to, or if the children want to see him, they're over there in another country. And donor Nico has, to his dismay, another 25 donor children abroad, in addition to the 25 in the Netherlands. So, the MCK announced that it's fully cooperation with the new investigation by the Health and Youth Inspectorate, IGJ. We await the publication of the IGJ report regarding historical and current working methods. MCK operates fully in line with applicable laws and regulations, with the well-being of our patients as our highest priority. Parents who have questions about their donor journey can contact MCK for personal consultation. We will we'll make no further announcements, stated their statement. The inspector at IGJ and the Ministry of Health also refer to the ongoing investigation, which, according to a spokesperson, is taking longer than anticipated because we are also investigating matters that occurred in the past. This also concerns questions raised by the Newsur, according to the inspectorate spokesperson. So there's your wacky, weird story about really not being able to trust your fertility clinics, I guess. Because they're out there just lying their asses off.
Mm-hmm. Well, there's that doctor. Remember the doctor? I think he was in the Netherlands, who was father of a lot of kids, and like 94 kids.
Yeah, but that was a different problem. That was him seeking his sperm.
That's not my non sequitur, though. Yeah. That's not my non sequitur, though. You're talking about older sperm being mutated, and I'm like, hey, there's also beneficial mutations. What about the X-Men, right? Hey, you can give birth to a kid, right? It can fly. You can give birth to the Flash,
if
right?
Only,
Flash.
Right? I really didn't like the comment from that one receiver of the donation who was saying, "Oh, my kid has autism and it's this is the fault of it." I'm like, I'm not sure if that's scientific, lady. I don't know if that's a scientific thing.
Everybody wants to assign blame. They don't want to.
Everyone always wants to panic about autism. I guess it's really annoying to me personally.
It's just another thing. I don't know what the hell. You can't do nothing about it, so why don't you just adjust to it? How about that?
Yeah. I have another story.
Right, that was my non sequitur. Okay. Wow. Okay.
Our next story is a little shorter. It's just about the nipples man. That's right. We've talked about this guy before. I think or maybe it was this guy. Definitely somebody pulling a ship out of the water with his nipples. I'm pretty sure it was this. Yeah, this guy. And he's done it again. He's pulled the weight of 2 grand pianos. This is by Jasmine Selby on the Guinness World Records.com. So that's probably why he did it, for another plaque. When you think of all the weird and wonderful things that us humans can do with our bodies, have you ever thought of using your nipples to pull something incredibly heavy? Well, this man did exactly that and broke a Guinness World Record title in the process. On August 30th, 2025, history is made on the set of Guinness World Records, the Grobe Show Weltrekorde in Munich, Germany. Sorry for my German. With an amazing body-related feat, when the Baron from Finland broke the record for the heaviest vehicle pulled by the nipples. male. I wonder who won. I wonder who has the female one. They're probably not allowed to show that on screen. Well, actually, it's Germany. They probably can show that on screen. It's only America who freaks out about female nipples. During his record-breaking attempt, he successfully managed to pull this kind of carriage you'd expect to see a horse pulling, one that weighed 991 kilograms or 2,184 pounds, with his partner sat inside of it, making up the correct weight. For the context, the weight is about the same as 1.5 cows or 2 grand pianos. World's strongest nipples, the Baron said after claiming his world record. The previous record by Sage Werbach, aka the Great Nippolini, from the USA, stood at 988.5 kilograms or 2,179.27 pounds. So he only really went up about 10-ish, less than 10 pounds to beat the record. Yeah, only and about a little under 10 kilograms, but that's why his girlfriend was in there, I guess, to make it a record. In the video, you can see the Baron pulling the cart with the metal hoops pierced through his nipples. At this point, they're pierced through his pecs, right? They're not even in the nipples anymore. They're just in there. He takes the steps while attached to the vehicle to break the record. At the end of the video, you can see him celebrating with the host and with his partner as the crowd gives a huge cheer for his amazing feat. The Baron's wild record-breaking attempts do not stop there, though. He has held the record for heaviest weight lifted by nipples, male, for over a decade. He smashed the record on July 19th, 2013 at Bush Hall, London, UK, where he successfully managed to lift weights of 32.6 kilograms that were attached to his nipples. In the guidelines for this record, he had to ensure that the weight was lifted at least 10 centimeters off the ground, and he had to hold it for at least 5 seconds, although he actually did it for 8.46 seconds, just to make sure no one else can beat him. This sideshow strongman performer is certainly a powerhouse of talent, as he is well known all over the world for his amazing body stunts that are all related to pulling heavy weights from his body piercings or even bending metal bars with his teeth. He has traveled across the globe performing places as Berlin, Singapore, and New Zealand, to name a few, and has even appeared on both America's Got Talent and Britain's Got Talent. The Baron is a man of many talents, and I guess we can't see what he gets up to next. At least the Guinness World Records can't wait to see. But I don't know if I could watch it either. I don't even have sensitive nipples, but that sounds like sounds like a tough one. Definitely weird and wacky. You're muted. You're muted.
The weird part is not that he does this. The weird part is that there's an actual competition to do this. Like, there's another rival that can beat his record. Like, okay. And also the crowd, the entire crowd watching this is there. One collective thought. Why are we here? My life has led to this moment somehow. My life has led up to this moment where I'm here in this place doing this thing. Yeah.
I think most people who go to these Guinness World Records events know why they're there, to see some records get broken.
Are you sure they know why they're there? I think it's peer pressure. I don't think I would actively go, I gotta see that. I'll be like, no, I don't even want to see it on television. Anyway.
Let's roll the segue wheel.
Actually,
for our next stories.
Just gross. Why would people even be attracted to watch
body horror?
There's
plenty of people love body horror. Our next segue is a haiku.
Sure. That's me. Freak show coming to town. Haiku.
I mean, he does perform at the circus, so got you there.
Right. That's true. It is a sideshow, that's for sure. I made to write this down. So you gotta come up with a haiku, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, haikus. Two haiku, as we rhyme. Two with haiku. Humans in the Andes. We're gonna do the lighthearted one, a little bit lighthearted one first. Humans in the Andes appear to have evolved a strange genetic ability. Hold on, I closed my older story. Hold on a second. Let me do this real quick. So I'll have my story ready. Let's see, where was I? Bear with me as I try to find my story. I'll find it a little bit. Okay. Humans in the Andes have developed a strange genetic ability. That's right. That is really strange. It's from Michelle Starr of alert.com. For thousands of years, humans living in the high-end Argentinian Andes have relied on drinking water that would make most people deathly ill. There, naturally occurring arsenic and volcanic bedrock leaches into the groundwater, contaminating the local water supply at levels of toxic metalloid that would pose serious health risks to most human populations. But for one group in northern Argentina, natural selection may have provided an unusual genetic advantage. According to DNA analysis of people across South America, a population of the Argentinian Andes carries a gene variant likely that helps them metabolize arsenic more safely. Adaptation drives genomic change. Let's do the voice here. Adaptation drives genomic changes. Therefore, evidence of specific adaptations in humans remain limited, wrote a team led by evolutionary biologist Karina Schleibrusch and Lucy Gattapelli of Uppsala University in a 2015 paper. Our data show that adaptation to tolerate the environmental stressor arsenic has likely driven an increase in the frequencies of protective variants of AS3MT, which is a gene, providing the first evidence of human adaptation to a toxic chemical. I guess that's a gene. Given enough time and general enough exposure to the hazard, life has shown a remarkable ability to adapt to all sorts of wild conditions, from extreme heat to complete lack of oxygen to dangerous radiation levels. However, relatively little is known about the human populations that adapt to toxic chemicals in their environment. Arsenic is highly toxic, associated with cancer, skin lesions, birth defects, and early death. It is also widespread, naturally present at high levels in groundwater of many regions of the world. The current recommended limit for arsenic in drinking water set by the World Health Organization, WHO, is 10 micrograms per liter. Until a filtration system was installed in 2012, the remote high-altitude town of San Antonio de las Cobres in Argentina, Punta del Atacama Plateau, had drinking water that contained about 200 micrograms, in other words, 20 times the recommended limit. Yet, the region has been inhabited for thousands of years, at least 7,000 years, perhaps as long as 11,000, maybe even longer. The apparent ability to shrug off dangerously high arsenic levels puzzled scientists for decades. In 1995, scientists noted that women in the Argentinian Andes had a unique ability to metabolize arsenic, as evidenced by metabolites in their urine. When arsenic enters bodies, enzymes convert it through several chemical forms. One of these immediate forms, called monomethylated arsenic, MMA, is particularly toxic. A latter form, dimethylated arsenic, is easier for the body to excrete in urine. People in San Antonio de los Cobres tended to produce less of the toxic intermediate, more of the easily excreted form, suggesting their bodies were unusually efficient at processing arsenic. Hey, maybe they use it for their superpowers. There's your interesting story on the arsenic. Let's have us a haiku while I try to find my other story.
Argentine so bold, tasting life with daring lips. Arsenic's dark charm.
Hold on, we use soundboard. Hold on.
Dark charm.
Okay, back to my... Give me a second, maybe sing a song or something. I accidentally closed my window.
I can't sing a song about arsenic.
I don't know.
She's poison. I don't know the actual full lesson. It's not a good song. Hello, Ludo. Good morning. I hope you're having a good Wednesday. That's right. It's hump day. Have a good I hope you're having a good hump day.
All right. Well, I'm gonna have to do this. All right.
You're mounting some humpness.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I posed this story prematurely. Okay, let's see how long this story is. Hopefully, it's a short.
Okay, next story.
Okay. Next story, we're going to do about the local news. This is from, I guess we're going to... No, we're not using that story. We're using somebody else. Sorry. Once again, My fault. I closed the story when I thought I was closing a different story. And the internet doesn't care if it gives me back to the story. Even though it's in my history somewhere, it doesn't care. It only saves my history up to a certain point and then gets rid of it.
It should be under most recent tabs, not under history.
It would be, but unfortunately, I do a lot while I'm on the air, so it isn't even close. So. Wow. Crazy, right? There's the story I had already. I wanted the length story. I don't want the 25-minute story where I got to self-edit all the way through. Or the 1-minute story that
thank you for trying to help Ludo, but it's fine. Just let him do what he has to do the way he's doing it.
The word cornhole enters my vocabulary as a young man, and it was not about sport. It was actually about your butthole, right? Your cornhole's your butthole, right? But anyway, there's a sport called cornhole, and I guess it's going to be Olympics at some point. Anyway, it involves throwing a bag of corn. I have to explain this to people. I didn't know it existed until years ago. It's a bag of like dried corn inside of the bag, and you throw it in a hole, and it's like horse. It's the most. You can be a quadruple amputee and be good at it. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, you can use a mouse.
Here is NPR.org. Yeah, this is a weirdest story, definitely, in Maryland at least. NPR.org has a story: professional cornhole player and quadruple amputee is arrested for murder. This is by Rachel Thiesman. Now, how mad you got to be to shoot somebody over a cornhole game? I'm sorry. His name is Dayton Weber. If you remember the Oscar Pistorius, remember that guy, right? Blade Runner, the guy who ran in the Olympics with no legs. Remember him? And he actually, on purpose, shot his girlfriend and tried to cover it up. Yeah, that guy.
Oh, terrible.
This guy's even worse.
Oh, God.
This guy's basically the same. He's basically the same guy. He hates the world because he doesn't have arms and legs, apparently, because a professional cornhole player who is everybody's innocent until proven guilty, but we have so much non-circumstantial evidence that we have witnesses, for God's sake. Anyway, a professional cornhole player who is a quadruple amputee has been arrested in connection with a fatal shooting. Dayton Weber, 27, is accused of killing a man in the front seat of his car during an argument on Sunday in his hometown of La Plata, Maryland, about 30 miles south of Washington, D.C., according to Charles County Sheriff's Office. The Sheriff's Office said in a press release that the passengers in the backseat saw Weber shoot Badrick Michael Wells, also 27, before he pulled over and asked them to help pull the victim out of the car.
Accessory to murder? Yeah, goodbye.
They refused the left. Listen to this one. They refused the left, at which Weber fled with the victim still in the car. He has no arms and legs. He's driving a car. This guy has really overcome a lot just to be a scumbag murderer, right? How do you overcome all of that just to be a scumbag?
To be fair, Ludo, this wasn't in DC. This was in La Plata, which, as somebody who comes from that area, or I grew up near that area, is nothing like DC. Nowhere near DC. Yeah.
Just a primer. There's people in Southern Maryland, and believe me, it's only 50 miles from DC. There's people in Southern Maryland never been to Washington D.C. You find that hard to believe? So do I, but it's true. They have never been to Washington. As far away they've ever been is Waldorf, maybe, or maybe across the river to Prince Frederick, but they've never been to Washington. It's crazy, right? They've never been anywhere. So again, this is not unusual. The SMIB is alive and well.
SMIB stands for Southern Maryland Inbred, for anybody who doesn't know what that means.
I think the last time a SMIB made national news is when there was some wild animal, some wild exotic animal that hit by a car, and one of the SMIBs took it home and cooked it up for dinner. I forget what animal it was. It was a thing that's native to this area.
Yeah.
Anyway,
this guy is just a psycho.
Yeah, this guy just has problems, right? The sheriff's office sent a press release. By the way, this cornhole player, very well known in the cornhole community. He's like their hero, right? Because he doesn't have arms and legs. I mean, this should tell you everything about this sport.
Wait, how did he shoot somebody without arms and legs? With his mouth?
You'll see in the video, because there's videos of him shooting
it's a mic drop.
Range.
Okay.
So there you go. Yeah. The sheriff's office said the press release passed, blah, 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 blah. They refused to left. He fled with the victim still in the car. That pretty much indicates guilt, right? All of the passengers knew each other, authorities said. Nearly 2 hours later, a resident of Charlotte Hall, which is right up the road, about 14 miles away, report a body in the yard. Yeah, he dumped it in somebody's yard in Charlotte Hall. What a piece of shit. The officer said responders identified Wells and pronounced him dead at the scene. Detectives found Weber's car over 100 miles away in Charlottesville, Virginia. Got a warrant for his arrest. He didn't put up much of a fight, I would imagine. There were helped with their search by Virginia's Albemarle County Police Department said in a separate statement that one of its officers spotted Weber's vehicle in a gas station and used surveillance footage to track him down. He's easy to catch. He's not on the run. Ha 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 ha. Oh, I'm terrible. Weber was arrested at a local hospital where his authorities said he was seeking treatment for a medical issue. Yeah, insanity. He was charged with fugitive from justice, and public records show he was booked into the Albemarle Charlottesville Regional Jail Monday. The sheriff's office said Wednesday he's waiting extradition back to Maryland, where he'll be charged with first-degree murder, second-degree murder, and other related charges. Put this motherfucker in the goddamn chair. Well, Maryland don't have the chair.
Good.
I have no sympathy for this guy. What a piece of shit. What a piece of shit. Again, my same hatred for this guy is the same for Oscar Pistorius, who had everybody's by the heartstrings because he's in the Olympics with no legs. Not even the Special Olympics. The real Olympics. And then he kills his girlfriend and lies about it. No sympathy anymore. We don't care. You had all the sympathy in the world, and you threw it away because you're an asshole. Jail Superintendent Colonel Martin Coomer told NPR in an email that the court did not address extradition at its Tuesday morning hearing. It said Weber's next scheduled court date is sometime in April, though his attorney could potentially ask for one even sooner. Yeah, he didn't look stupid. Sorry. I don't want to marginalize people, by the way.
I don't know. I don't. Yeah. Murderers don't deserve respect, personally, but yeah.
Now he looks like there's nothing going on behind his eyes. Like there's nothing behind here. I have a lot of anger towards the world. Oh, every life's unfair, so I get to kill people. Yeah, fuck you, guy. You had everybody on your side. Not anymore. NPR has reached out to Weber's attorney, but he didn't get any comment. Authorities say the murder investigation is ongoing. That's all we know. At 10 months old, let's get to why he has no arms and legs. This is kind of the background of the story. Weber was diagnosed 10 months old, which means lovely 27 years ago. We weren't living here then, so you can't blame me. Weber was diagnosed with a bacterial infection, Streptococcus pneumoniae. Turned so aggressive he was given last rites. He was 10 months. So he's pretty much grown up like this. They had actually given me a 3% chance living, and the only way they were able to save me without getting the infections out of my system, said in a 2024 ESPN video, they had to amputate my arms and legs and keep me alive. That didn't stop Weber from excelling at sports, including football and wrestling. In fact, ESPN profiled him in 2010 after a then 12-year-old finished fourth in his weight class in the Southern Maryland Junior Wrestling League. This boy was in high school at the same time as you. No. Yeah, he was. He was 14. Yeah, he was his freshman. You were a senior. And he was going in your county. Hey. Anyway,
I'm glad I never met him.
No, he was in Charles County.
Yeah, I would have never met him. I was not into wrestling, so I wasn't, going around the racket of Southern Maryland wrestling.
You may have. You would have been a freshman. You were a senior.
Yeah.
Anyway, Weber said at the time he was a favorite sport, adding, I like using my strength and being fit. Sometimes when I watch my teammates in certain situations, I wish I had hands, just try to do things in my own way. Over the years, Weber learned how to write, fish, and hunt. Videos on YouTube account believed to belong to Weber show him firing guns and using his upper arms. He wrote in 2023 Today piece that he even taught myself how to drive by racing go-karts. In this piece, Weber said he started playing cornhole, the lawn game in which players throw bean bags at a target. Corn bags, I think it is. That's why it's called cornhole, right? Otherwise, it'd be called beanhole, wouldn't it? I'm just saying. In the backyard with friends. Then weekly at his local American Legion. I love this so much, I never missed a Friday. Weber was crowned Maryland's best cornhole player in 2020. He explained that the piece he wrote for Today that he doesn't wear his prosthetics in competition because they don't allow the same level of sensitivity to control. He has adapted his technique to throw the bags by their corners for more leverage. Weber turned pro in 21-22, become the first quadruple amputee in history of American Cornhole League. The governing body founding in 2015, because everybody needs a governing body. I don't know why you need a governing. I get to set up tournaments, right?
That's why I'm an anarchist. Get rid of the governing body.
No, somebody's got to organize these tournaments and give trophies, right? Anyway.
So funny.
The league confirmed on NPR that Weber has not been an active participant in 2 years. Nonetheless, it issued a statement acknowledging the allegations, declined to comment. It's like, we aren't responsible for this shitbag. There's your story. Hopefully, we got us a nice haiku for it. Shouldn't have been taken too hard. Been too hard.
Ludo says here he's heard of that disease and it scared the shit out of him, scared the fuck out of him when he first learned about it. I've never heard of it myself, but yeah.
Somebody who doesn't consider consequences, also, right?
Maybe that's not. Maybe it's because he was out for 2 years, right? That he felt disenfranchised and he was in a low place. But I mean, yet again, right? None of these are an excuse to murder somebody. Like, well, I think his friend, right? Because they're all friends.
Yeah.
And then he just murdered him.
The car, right? The driver of the car. 2 of his friends and him. He shot one of his friends in the back because he was in the back seat.
Yeah.
So his friend must have been the passenger. You don't shoot the driver unless you really want to die. Oh, there's nobody driving the car and we can't get him out of the seat. No.
Yeah.
And his foot's on the gas. No, I don't think so. You don't shoot the driver. So he shot the passenger. So the driver and the guy in the back seat, first of all, the guy in the back seat should have taken his gun away. He said, oh, he's got a gun, done something. But again, how stupid are you? Again, it's Southern Maryland. I can't account for stupid. You can never account for stupid. It's just out there. Let's have an haiku.
In the shadows they plot, car seat cradles, dark secrets, champs cornhole toss fades.
Yeah. He'll be tossing cornhole into slammer from now on. Because that's his future.
Maybe people will like him there, I guess. I don't know. Yeah, no. That's life.
You killed one person and you get... Think about this. You killed one person. You got charged of first-degree murder and secondary murder. It doesn't mean they're going to stick. It just means they are going to put you away.
Mm-hmm.
The verdict is the jury finds you not guilty of second-degree murder. And he's like... But they find you guilty of first-degree murder, life in prison.
Yeah, you definitely killed that guy.
That's what I want to see happen to him. They find him not guilty of second degree, but they find him guilty of first degree, and he has to spend the rest of his life, I don't know, getting kicked in the head. Hopefully, I don't know, whatever. Screw this guy.
Very bizarre, yeah.
Life gave you a second chance. You pissed it away, moron.
A great example of just people take advantage. People don't appreciate what they have.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Great example.
I'm so popular, I can kill people. It's a Trump disease. Nobody's ever going to hate me.
Don't know if it's that.
Everybody hates you, dude. Everybody on planet Earth.
Arrogance has been a thing way before that happened. So
I have no sympathy whatsoever. You've had the ups and you've had the downs, and your response is to kill people. Yeah, get out of here. No sympathy whatsoever. The rest of your life, nobody ever has to feel sorry for you. Congratulations, moron. You killed all the goodwill you ever had.
Deranged T syndrome is legit what they have. They have what we have. The T syndrome.
Mind blowing that I got a special skill and it's shooting a gun and I'm going to use it to end my own existence. Right? That's it. Yeah. Don't let this guy ever have a gun again.
Somebody else's existence. Yeah.
He will never have a gun again. He will never see the walls of freedom. He'll never leave prison. There's no way. There's no way this guy's going to get out. He is dead, legitimately dead to rights.
Dead in the water? Oh. I thought you were going to say dead in the water. Because he probably can't swim.
It's a metaphor.
So terrible.
I'm just saying, he just dumped the body, right?
On someone's yard.
Park his car, hobble around, right? Grab the guy, throw him on somebody's yard, drag him onto somebody's yard, close the door, get back in the car. I can imagine just sitting outside my yard watching this happen. Like, what the fuck is this? What the fuck is that? What the fuck is this? Anyway, getting louder and louder, right?
Gonna need to see that ring cam footage.
Jerry Seinfeld.
Yeah, definitely the weirdest story
what
today.
The fuck is that?
Let's roll our segue.
I did not see this. I gotta stop dropping acid.
need to stop dropping it. Our next segue is a alliteration headline. It was almost a limerick.
And true.
And we're going to talk about some culture news coming from Moby.
Which one?
Alliteration. This is coming from Moby, who's calling the song Lola by the Kinks gross and transphobic. So let's see what this story is about. I think I saw this on the 23rd of March. Yes. This is from David Morquand on Euronews Culture. American musician Moby is no fan of the Kinks' hit song Lola, describing its lyrics as gross, transphobic, and unevolved. No one seems to agree with him, at least of all the Kinks guitarist Dave Davies. It may have hit airwaves 56 years ago, but one of British rock's bands, the Kinks' biggest hit song, still has the capacity to make headlines. Lola, penned by frontman Ray Davies, describes an encounter in a Soho bar between a young man and a titular Lola, who is possibly a trans woman or a drag queen. Well, I'm not the world's most physical guy, but when she squeezed me tight, she nearly broke my spine. Goes the opening of the chorus, followed by the lines, well, I'm not dumb, but I can't understand why she walks like a woman and talks like a man. And girls be boys, and boys will be girls. It's mixed up, muddled, shook up world, except for Lola. The song expresses how infatuated the narrator singer is with Lola, despite the possible initial confusion. That's because all of us are bisexual, and I'm a true believer of that. But I know what I am, and I'm glad I'm a man. And so is Lola. The song was originally banned by the BBC because it's the BBC, are we surprised? But not for the reason you might think.
All right.
The broadcasting regulators were scandalized by the mentions of the brand Coca-Cola. In the opening lines, I met her in a club down in Old Soho, where you drink champagne and taste like Coca-Cola. This went against the BBC's policy against product placement, and the song was banned until Davies changed the lyrics to Cherry Cola for British radio. Lola ended up reaching the number 2 on the UK singles chart in 1970, and the song has since become one of the Kinks' best-loved tracks. It has also gained further praise over the years for its risky lyrics for the time, with many celebrating its progressive take on transgender topics. What do you say, Josh? You keep living in denial. Davies about being bisexual. Josh was like, I'm not bisexual.
Everybody, you shouldn't put
Everyone's
it
a little
way.
bisexual.
I think probably the way you should put it is everybody has a feminine side. If you don't think you've got a feminine side, I mean,
no, I don't attribute your sexual orientation with how you express your gender identity.
It's
so
semantics.
Those are two different things.
Semantics again.
No, it's not semantics. This is a sociological study that they've done. Gender and sex identity are not the same thing. They don't match up a lot of times.
It legitimately is the meaning of the word semantics. You're using this word to do this and using the word
No, this is not semantics. These are literally two different things. Davies previously explained that the song was inspired by various interactions with drag queens, and today, the track is considered one of the first commercially successful LGBTQ+ songs. More than that, Lola is championed as a song which embraces love and sexuality in all its forms. However, one artist doesn't read it that way. Moby, who is obviously very experienced with being a drag queen and being a trans woman, so, you know, his opinion is really big here. He's not. Over the weekend, American musician Moby was interviewed as part of the Guardian's Honest Playlist feature. When asked about the song he can no longer listen to, Moby replied, Lola by the Kinks came on Spotify playlist, and I thought the lyrics... Oh, sorry, I scrolled down by accident by pressing the spacebar. Go back, Moby, I was reading your quote. The lyrics were just gross and transphobic. He added, I liked their early music, but I was really taken aback at how unevolved the lyrics are. This prompted Dave Davies, guitarist with the Kinks and brother of Ray Davies, to hit back at Moby's take. In a social media post, Davies wrote, I'm highly insulted that Moby would accuse my brother of being unevolved or transphobic in any way. And then he specifically said, to at the little idiot, Moby's criticism of our song Lola. These are the words sent to me and Ray from our dear friend, I love this art. The reason I'm covering this story is because it's kind of just a non-story about people arguing on the internet. But it's like, I actually have a trans friend, and this one trans friend says it's not transphobic. I love when people do that shit. Actually, it's not racist because my black friend said they didn't think it was racist. What are we
supposed to have?
Just don't even bring it in. Just say we didn't mean it to be transphobic. The end of the argument. You don't have to bring somebody in to defend you.
Well, I want to see which lyrics are transphobic. I would like to know that part.
I just did the lyrics. I just said the lyrics.
I know the lyrics, but I don't understand what part of it is transphobic.
Well, I mean,
like
I
a
guess
woman talks like a man. It happens. It happens. Wow, that sure.
Unfortunately, I'm sorry to tell you this, Dad, but I don't have Moby here on the line, so I can't answer your question. I'm just reading an article. He also shared a letter he received from the transgender singer, actress, and artist Jane County, once leader of the proto-punk band Wayne County and the Electric Chairs, who began identifying as a woman in 1979, so 9 years after the song was released. Regarding Moby's criticism of our song Lola in a recent Gaudi interview, these are the words sent to me by Ray from our dear friend trans icon Jane County, said Davies. When I heard the song, I was both thrilled and amazed that the Kinks would be singing a song about a trans person and wondered if anyone else picked up on it. County wrote in a letter, who was cool or hip enough to realize that the Kinks were singing about. Lola was always be one of those songs that's for me, broke the ice and so to speak. A song that breaks down barriers and brings a used to be hush-hush subject to the forefront and makes it perfectly natural to be singing a song about a girl named Lola. Lola was always be very special to me, she continued. With this song, the Kinks projected themselves into the modern world, the real world, a world full of all kinds of people, bisexual, gay, trans, not just a world full of straight heterosexuals. Yeah, you better say bisexual first. No bi erasure on this channel. Lola broke down the doors of narrow-mindedness, and I will always be grateful and happy that the Kinks gave me the incredible song with such great story. Being trans myself, this will always be the very special song for me. It has a follow-up post by Dave Davies continued. I don't want to show the guy up, but Moby should be careful what he says. Famous drag troupe, the Coquettes, and the Friends used to follow us around on tour. We appreciated them. That's all he has to really say is like, one, we didn't intend for these to be transphobic. If you take them that way, that's your personal problem, the end. He added, why is Moby being so rude about this simple song? We're not transphobic. What does he have to do? What does he have to go? Why does he have to have a go at us? Social media has also some thoughts, and none of them are good for Moby. People yelling at Moby. I'm not going to read all this. Social media trifle. If you're interested, you can find yourself. And at the time of writing, Moby has yet to respond to Davies' reaction. So he's I think the thing here, this happens a lot, especially with art, right? Moby said he answered a question. What song can you not listen to? And for him, when he listens to it, it just feels gross to him and transphobic. That's how he experiences the song, so he can't listen to it anymore. And he has the right to not listen to it anymore. It's his fucking life. But a lot of people took it as like a serious insult. And you can take it personally, especially if you're the writer of the song, right? To say, are you saying I wrote a transphobic song? I didn't write a transphobic song. So get your head on right.
This song was written about an experience of, I think, their road manager, right? The road manager went to a club and he danced with a girl all night. I've had this experience myself, by the way. I took I had two roommates at the time. No, it was my roommate had never been. He's like, I need to meet a girl. And I said, well, I got a place. There's a place down in San Diego. It's they call it Little PI because all the Filipino girls hang out there, right? And so we went to that place. I said, man, you're going to get laid here. No problem. He ended up dancing all night with a transvestite. And we did not tell him, right? We didn't tell him. Me and my friend were looking at each other and said, yeah, that's a dude. And he didn't realize it.
A very pretty
dude. Danced
dude.
all night. Said, that's the prettiest.
I believe what we call them is lady boys is what we call them, lady boys.
Yeah. And legitimately was the prettiest girl in there, legitimately. And we told him later in the car, he didn't get laid. We told him later in the car, that was a dude. He goes, oh, well, it was the prettiest girl in there. He didn't care. This is a Marine. He didn't care. Yeah. Anyway, that's my little story. My headline should say, no, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, no, it was just Ludo saying, I think it's the generic gesture in the lyrics when the lyrics are a usual representation of something literal or politically.
Ambiguity.
poetically or lyrically. So it's just basically a finger pointing song. Look at her or him. I don't care. I like it. And if you don't care, why point it out? Yeah, that's kind of the... If you don't care if they're a man or a woman, why are you pointing out that there might be a man or they are a man? Is what Ludo's saying. Which is what Moby's bothered by.
Transphobia, right, is the fear of something, and in that song he clearly was not afraid of it, right? So why would it be transphobic? Clearly, he basically either admitted he went to bed with this person, or they decided to part ways that night. There's total ambiguity all through the song, and you can reach what conclusion you want. Moby, unfortunately, hasn't had a hit since 2002, and I don't even know any of his music. I just know he exists, right? So he's seeking relevance, I think. And the Kinks are just sitting back going, huh? What?
I don't think he's seeking any relevance. He was on an interview already. They're already interviewing him. He just answered a song, right? Like I said, this is a very non-story. But it is a weird story, so that's why I'm covering it.
That's the reason why musicians should just shut the fuck up about other people's music. If you have something to say,
I'm not a fan of silence myself. Silencing people.
Well, I'm just saying. Okay, if Bob Dylan wanted to say something about John Lennon, he said it in a song. He wanted to say something about Joan Baez, he said it in a song. Right? If Taylor Swift wants to say something about something, she says it in a song. That's what you do, Moby. You say it in a song. Don't just go, that one person is transphobic. And Gray Davies is going, huh? What? Huh? He's in a pub somewhere going, taking his freaking diabetes medication because he's 85, Leave the old guy alone, man.
Some trans people are fine with being recognized as trans and some are not. Some take it as saying, I could tell you where you were or weren't, while others are like, yes, trans and proud, clock it. I did the clock it.
I have no interest in it.
As a cis woman, and unfortunately, I'm a very cis woman, and I have no interest in being a trans man myself. It's really on an individual basis, this kind of thing, and that's all Moby is doing, is having it as individual basis on how he feels about the song, and that's what it is. And
here's Moby's biggest hit. It's called Porcelain. Here's the lyrics. Here's the lyrics of his song. I don't even know what they mean. In my dreams, I'm dying all the times. Then I wake. It's kaleidoscope mind. I never meant to hurt you. I never meant to lie. So this is goodbye. This is goodbye. Sounds like he's killing himself. In my dreams, I'm jealous all the time. In my dreams, I'm jealous.
And how do you feel?
Wow.
And how does that make you feel?
When I wake, I'm going out of my mind, going out of my mind. What is he saying? He's losing his mind. He's going to kill himself, and he's jealous. That's his biggest hit. Well, it sounds jealous, doesn't he? Sounds a little bit jealous. Okay, anyway, enough of Moby.
Let's reverse segue for this day in history.
I have plenty of any of this at all. Never hit my ears at any point. I don't know why, but it must be a British thing, right? It's a British. No, he's an American. Holy shit, it's American.
I said you need to listen to when I read these articles, because I said American artist Moby.
I didn't say I wasn't listening. I just said it must be a British. Then I caught myself. You hear me? I caught myself.
All right, let's go. Our next segue is, what was it? Wasn't it? Tell me what it was. Really rude. Sarcasm. Do you want to re-roll? Oh no, it's for me. I'll be sarcastic.
Well, you're the one that's
I'll be sarcastic. You're right.
Your turn.
You've been talking so long, I thought it was your article.
Because Moby had a lot to say about a song that people forgot about. Now everybody's going to be interested in it again. And the Kinks are like, you know what? People are going to be listening to that song on Spotify and on Google Music or whatever.
YouTube
Amazon
Music.
Prime, whatever. Apple, all them, right?
Tidal.
All of a sudden, a new interest in a 60-year-old song by the Kinks? Awesome. This day in history, and again, the Kinks made a lot of great albums, and again, they're the most underrated band of all time. They came across the Beatles.
Is this in this day in history? We can move to the next thing now. He's stuck on this topic.
But the Kinks had our work visas revoked because they got in fist fights on stage. So that's why they never really made it big in the States till later. And the year 451 on this, I was scrolling anyway. I wasn't like I was doing anything. And 451, according to the tradition, Venice was founded. So happy anniversary of the Venice.
Mm.
Go jump in the street, take a swim. I don't know.
Don't do that. You'll get a disease. You'll get like cholera. It's a very dirty water.
Yeah. Tuberculosis.
Maybe,
1305. In this area, we jump way ahead. The Arena Chapel, containing frescoes of Giotto, was consecrated in Padua, Italy. I don't know if it's still there, but I'd like to see it, right? Hope it wasn't bombed in one of those wars. 1306. This is a great day in history. Robert the Bruce crowned Scottish king in Scone on this day in 1306. Freed Scotland, thanks to Robert the Bruce. Freed Scotland from English rule by winning the Battle of Bannockburn, 1314.
Yeah, Bannockburn!
Scottish independence and the Treaty of Northampton in 1328, which Scottish independence lasts until this day. What? 1655, Dutch mathematician and astronomer Christian Huygens discovered Titan, the largest moon of Saturn. How do you discover a moon? It goes across the face of the planet. It's actually pretty easy to see through a telescope. I can watch moons all day and night if I wanted to, especially Jupiter, because Jupiter's so big and bright. You can see at least 3 of their moons with a telescope. 1807, the British Parliament abolished the slave trade in the British West Indies. The British West Indies would be like the Virgin Islands nowadays. Bermuda, probably. 1881, Hungarian composer Bela Bartók was born in Nagyszentmiklós, Hungary, Austria-Hungary, which is now in Romania. What a complicated place. Probably for a little while was Armenia too, right? 1911, a fire at the Triangle Shirtwaist Factory in New York City killed 146 people, prompting the creation of health and safety legislation. Of course, the 146 people were mostly little girls.
Oh.
Because little girls could make these sewing machines with their small little hands. So that led to a lot of labor laws. Yeah, we don't realize this in our head up our ass society these days, and I include myself, but at the turn of the century, little girls were bringing home the bacon for immigrant families, right? You couldn't get a job, but your kid could, and they couldn't go to school, but they could bring home the money. So yeah, that's what laws had to be passed against, sending children to work in factories that had no safety regulations. 1918, French composer Claude Debussy, whose works were a seminal force in the music of the 20th century, died at age 55. That's not very old. Maybe it's old. It seems old for a composer, right? Mozart didn't live that long. I think Beethoven only made it like 55. Composing music means a short life in most cases, but don't tell music, not lyrics. I think music shortens your life. Frank Zappa, for instance, right? He just never stopped writing music. He died in 1994. He's been gone for a long time. 1934, American feminist Gloria Steinem was born in, doesn't say where she was born. She's a leading advocate of women's liberation movement, helped form Ms. Magazine 1972. 1947, the birthday of Elton John, British singer, composer, pianist, who was known for his popular music, stylistic showmanship. He was not born Elton John, he was born Reginald Kenneth Dwight. 1947, probably London, I'm guessing. 1957, the Treaties of Rome were signed, establishing the Europe Community and the European Atomic Energy Community. That's lasted their whole thing because there's a thing called West Germany at that time and East Germany, so we don't know what the hell happened after that. 1965, Martin Luther King and other civil rights activists completed their march from Selma to Montgomery, Alabama. 2 previous marches have been halted by local police who said, "Oh my God, black people are out in the streets. We must stop them." Don't know why they stopped it. Oh yeah, we do, because they're a bunch of fascists. 1965, American actress surrogate Jessica Parker was born. Happy 61. The Sarah Jessica Parker Sex and the City star. That was only on for 6 years, apparently. Sex and the City. Some people still call it Sex in the City. But I guess it's Sex and the City, where she played a sex columnist for a newspaper. Kind of the Seinfeld, soft porn, female version of Seinfeld, I would call it, right? not hard. It was on HBO, so it was soft porn. 1975, King Faisal of Saudi Arabia was shot to death by his nephew. You want to have a shitty family reunion? That'll ruin it. 2002, 6.1 magnitude earthquake struck the Hindu Kush region of northern Afghanistan. 6.1 doesn't seem like much of an earthquake to me, but it caused 1,000 deaths. It's not how powerful, it's what's on top of it, right? Probably giant buildings on top of the fault, and I don't know. You need to do some kind of structural integrity of your ground before you put up these buildings. But again, this is in Afghanistan, probably no building regulations whatsoever. I don't know. 2021, and if they did, it was the Taliban, right? The Taliban was running things. More events of this day. 2021, American children's author Beverly Cleary died at the age of 104. She wrote the hugely popular Ramona series. She did. That's what she did. A first passenger on a railway. That was our featured event. In 1807, the very first railway passenger. The first fee-paying passenger railway began operating in Wales. It was eventually known as the Mumbles Railway, and it became the longest-running locomotive line in the world. Passengers, however, were afterthought. The train was designed with industry in mind, probably coal, right? By 1823, a 16-person horse-drawn carriage made the trip twice a day along the railway line. After electricity arrived in 1928, double-decker trams began running, and millions of passengers were riding the line annually. It closed in 1960. So, and they had a funeral for it. Yeah, they featured an empty coffin riding on it for the last time before they retired on January 4th, 1960. So the world's that's a long-running rail line. That's 153 years. It'd probably still be there today if they had a reason. Our feature biography is Aretha Franklin, R-E-S-P-E-C-T. Aretha, she was born March 25th, 1942. She's turning, would it be 84 today, but she died in 2018 at the age of 76. August 16th in Detroit. Other birthdays today, we did Gloria Steinem, Aretha Franklin, Elton John, Sarah Jacobs Parker, Vladimir Klitschko, Ukrainian boxer, is his birthday today. He's turning 50. He's a mayor of some town, and him and his brother were both heavyweight champions, and I think they're both mayors. Vladimir Klitschko. We'll figure out what Klitschko. Sorry, we'll figure out what.
A lot of entertainment stars going into politics in Ukraine, huh? The president used to be an actor.
Well, yeah, right. Well, I don't know if you call boxing entertainment. It's more like beating the shit out of somebody. But yeah, that's entertaining. And it's National Little Red Wagon Day. Oh, fix your little red wagon. That's my Elmer Fudd impersonation. I'll fix your little red wagon. I'm going to do the rest of the national days in Elmer Fudd voice. National Better Day. It's Tolkien Reading Day. Can't read that as Tolkien Weeding Day. It's Whole Gwain for the Whole Gwain Day. That's right, whole day for the whole Gwain, and it's Manatee Appreciation Day. So that's everything for today, Miss Pronunciation. Haiku.
Appreciate those sea cows.
The sea cows, those manatees. And Tolkien, don't forget Tolkien. Go read your Tolkien. For March 25th, 2026, on before Golly G. Whole grain, I guess. Whole day for whole grain. So I don't know, eat that roughage.
Eat that roughage.
Let's have us a I forget what you spun. That was
sarcasm.
A haiku, right? Sarcasm.
Yeah, I guess after this I'm just gonna go head out to the sea and see if I can find a manatee. Gonna bring him some flowers.
And you're right. Right on, man.
I get some seaweed maybe, you know? And we're gonna fly off into the sunset. Right, because manatees can fly. That's actually a secret nobody knows about manatees. They're actually the only flying mammal.
Yeah, they only fly at midnight on Thursdays.
Yeah. That's why that's why I gotta go out there right after the show, because it's gonna be Thursday at midnight. So.
Right. Loading my video.
Okay,
I'm waiting.
let's see what days there are on the UN International Days. We've got International Day of Remembrance of the Victims of Slavery and the Transatlantic Slave Trade. Yay! Humans did that. Now, people always make the argument, oh, everyone did slavery, but the thing about the transatlantic slave trade is that it was the first time we really treated other human beings like commodity. Stacked them inside of ships like barrels of fish. That is not a normal thing you do to slaves.
They probably just did it.
Before then.
They probably only did it because they were losing money, right?
Yeah, they wanted to max out on their capital, exactly. So don't be a slave trade denier. It happened. People were treated badly for it, and I do believe in reparations. So that's all I have to say on that. It's also the International Day of Solidarity with detained and missing staff members. That's right. If you're working for a government organization like the UN, like NATO, or just the government in general, sometimes you get kidnapped and kept as a prisoner of war by an enemy country or something. And you may even go missing and never found again, right? Killed and tossed in a ditch. So solidarity with all those poor souls out there they were abducted and their bodies weren't like, here's an idea. The origin of this happened when Alan Collett, former journalist who was working for the United Nations Relief and Work Agency for Palestine refugees in the Near East. He was abducted by armed gunmen in 1985 and his body wasn't found until Lebanon in 2009. So for anybody who says the Palestinian stuff is a recent thing, people were getting kidnapped for trying to reveal the truth about Palestine in 1985, and their bodies were being dumped in Lebanon. This was a UN staffer trying to make sure that there weren't any human rights being broken. Terrible.
I was wrong about Vladimir Klitschko being the mayor. His brother, Vitaly Klitschko, who was also a boxer, is the mayor of Kiev. So.
Oh, there you go. It's also still weak solidarity with people.
Actor for a president and a mayor is a boxer. Anyway,
I'll punch Putin right in the face. Hopefully, it's also still week of solidarity with people struggling against racism and racial discrimination. And this isn't just people with skin color; it can also happen to Eastern Europeans. They can also get a lot of hate out there. And I guess these days Americans are getting a lot of discrimination too. Oh, look, it's an American, must be an idiot. Sometimes it's true, isn't it?
Yeah.
Anyways.
You're probably going to be right more times than you're wrong. That's for sure.
Same thing with British tourists. Oh, that is Allison here from the Netherlands. Roger, who is half off screen over there, leaning off screen, from the east coast of the U.S. as we finish off another Wacky and Weird Wednesday here on Before Coffee. We'll be back tomorrow on Thursday for our Thursdays 13, in which we will write a list of 13 things. And make sure you're subscribed to the Before Coffee channel so you know when we're going live. Turn that bell on so you get notified on all the things we do. And thank you everyone on Patreon for supporting Before Coffee, our Before Coffee supporters. And here is our mic drop moment about our gunman.
A quadruple amputee is accused of shooting and killing a front seat passenger while driving in Maryland.
Yeah, Dayton James Weber, who's a professional cornhole player, allegedly shot Broderick Michael Wells during an argument on Sunday night.
New at 5:30, Alexis Wainwright at our D.C. sister station has the story.
Tonight, new video emerging from YouTube of Dayton Weber, a quadruple amputee shooting a handgun. Weber is facing several charges, including first and second-degree murder. The 27-year-old of La Plata is well known in the game of cornhole.
Easier to stabilize,
he has garnered national attention for his skill-winning professional tournaments as a quadruple amputee. He lost his limbs as a child due to a serious infection. You can see these pictures of him from his Facebook and Instagram accounts. And now the Charles County Sheriff's Office is working to piece together how a ride with friends turned into a deadly shooting over the weekend.
The information we have at this point is that all of the occupants of the vehicle are acquaintances and friends.
The Charles County Sheriff's Office says La Plata police were flagged down by two people
big friends. You shoot your friend in the face.
And Radio Station Road Sunday night. Officials say a witness told investigators they were sitting in the backseat of the car when the driver identified as Weber shot and killed 27-year-old Bradrick Michael Wells, who was in the front passenger seat.
The driver and the front seat passenger were apparently engaged in an argument, but I'm not sure what about.
Police
and then
say
he decided
Weber
to shoot the passenger
pulled over in this area of Radio Station Road and asked the two people in the backseat to help him remove Wells from the car, but they refused. Investigators say Weber then drove off with Wells still in the car.
About 2 hours later, a resident living off of Newport Church
Road
he
has
what do you call him? To say that they saw what appeared to be a body lying in somebody's yard.
Police later confirmed that the victim was Wells. Weber was eventually located at a nearby hospital.
Look at him smiling in the photo, too.
He was arrested.
His abilities, his capabilities are well documented.
Yes, prosthetic limbs. Thank you,
Alma. Look at that.
Yeah, has a little
Weber
smirk.
is now waiting extradition from Virginia back here to Charles County. In the meantime, police
I think he had his prosthetic limbs on, and he probably just took it out of his holster and shot the passenger.
In Charles County, Alexis Wainwright, WUSA 9.
He has to know his life is completely over.
Be sure to hit the like, subscribe, and notify buttons, and follow our other channels, Toxic Alley, History of Gravy, and Scratchy Old Records.
Just another day.